Hi, this is a screencast recording of how to use our SOAPSTone worksheet in 8th grade social studies. What I have on the screen in front of you is the SOAPSTone worksheet that we've been using for all of our primary source documents, and resource sheet number 4, the contract for an indentured servant, from our American history packet. So the challenge with using a SOAPSTone worksheet like this is what we're asking you to do is analyze and synthesize what you're reading on one document and breaking it apart into different segments on this worksheet. The function of the worksheet is to help you better understand what this document over here is trying to tell you. So let's get started with our example. The resource sheet number 4 is a contract for an indentured servant. It comes from Narratives of Early Maryland, published in 1910, but this document here is from the years between 1633 and 1684. So we know that this is a primary source document. It says, the form of binding a servant. This indenture made the blank day of blank in the blank year of our sovereign Lord King Charles, etc., between blank of the one party and blank on the other party, witnesseth that the said blank doth hereby covenant promise and grant to and with the said blank his executors and assigns to serve him from the day of the date hereof until his first and next arrival in Maryland, and after, for and during the term of blank years, in such service and employment that the said blank for his assigns shall there employ him according to the custom of the country in the like kind, in consideration whereof the said blank doth promise and grant to and with the said of blank to pay for his passing and to find him with meat, drink, apparel, and lodging, with other necessities during the said term, and at the end of said term to give him 1 whole year's provision of corn and 50 acres of land, according to the other of the country. In witness whereof the said blank hath hereunto put his hand and seal the day and year above. Then it be signed and delivered in the presence of a third impartial party. So this document is essentially the agreement between a person and another person, where the second person promises to be bound to working for the person with whom this contract is made. So if we come over here, the S part of our SOAPSTone wants to know what the subject of the piece is. So, what is the general topic or idea contained within this text? And in this case, we would be focusing on, what is the function of this document. Switched over to a different screen so you can see how we can fill all of this document in together. So, we want to know what the subject of the piece is. And in this area, we can say that the subject of this document is an, the subject of this document is an agreement between two people concerning indentured servitude, because that's what this document is about. Our second box that we're going to fill in wants to know the occasion. So what are the time, place, and setting of the piece? Well, it was written for the Maryland colony. And we know from looking over here that it's from this time period of 1633 and 1684. So you just fill in that information. 1684. And that's, you know, where we're getting our information from. So we're analyzing what we're reading over here and breaking it apart into parts down this way. So the audience, this document was written for someone. So it would be for the servant, so that they understand what the expectation is for them. The signer, so that they are aware of what their obligations are for the servant that they're taking in. And it's also for later historians who are curious about, you know, what life was like under these conditions and how exactly was indentured servitude carried out. Make sense? All right, so we're going to come down here a little bit more. We're looking at purpose. What was the reason for this document being written? Well, we know that this document is a binding agreement. So the purpose of this is to legally, sorry for my spelling, folks, I'm just trying to type quickly and it's not really helping me out too much. Oh, crud. Purpose is to legally bind one person to another for a set period of time. And we know that that's what the purpose is because it's the title of the document. There's the expectations down here for what the signer is required to do. The speaker is the signer. It's the signer's document. He's making the offer to the indentured servant. So the signer is who the speaker is. Make sense? I really hope so. All right, the last part of this has to do with tone. And tone is going to be one of the more challenging aspects of analyzing a document. It's challenging because you're trying to figure out what mood the writer was in at the time they created it. So for the purposes of this is just a form. Indentured servitude was not an uncommon occurrence. So the tone of this piece is just businesslike and matter of fact. So if we go back through, we've read the document, we know what it means, and this is our SOAPSTone analysis. We know that this document was written as an agreement between two people concerning indentured servitude. It was written for specific servitude within the Maryland colony in the 1600s. The audience, the person intended to read this document, was the servant and the signer. We're using it now because we're historians. The purpose of this document was to legally bind one person to another. The speaker is the signer of the agreement, and the tone is just businesslike. All right, let's take a chance and see if you can figure this out on your own with our next document. Good luck, and I'll see you in class.